Welcome to the first episode of Top of the Cop podcast. I'm joined here by Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hello,
Right?
Ara. How you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
Not too bad.
Right, we got a lot to discuss, haven't we?
We up. What
So
we doing
let's
first?
talk about Alvarez. What were your reactions when he has left the club?
A bit of shock because Chris came out, who is one of the owners, yesterday in his interview and said he's still very much a part of the coaching team. So it makes you wonder what's gone off there between yesterday and today. Whether he's upset because he didn't get the head coach job. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, mixed opinions, really. I completely agree with you. Obviously, Alvarez was one of the favourites going in for the manager job, but we don't normally get people that are favourites, do we? We normally get people that no one turn off, but especially hearing what Chris said about him still being in the first team coach, I was a bit shocked when I saw that he has left. But partially, I think that's because he didn't get the job. So best luck to him. Somewhere
As he moves forward.
Maybe he goes to another team in our league or he goes higher. Who knows?
I mean, I do find it strange because he has had that connection with working with the owners before he came to Notts, didn't he?
Yeah. He had a lot of connection and I don't know what else. Yeah, connection. Obviously, yeah, that's why he got moved up to assistant head coach from, was it first team coach?
Yeah, from first team coach. Before that, he was data analyst, weren't he, at the club? I do believe. But Jody's sad to see him go. He says one of the nice guys. So I don't know what to take from that. And Jody knows him better than like the fans do and everything
we
else.
do, yeah. Yeah, I think when a player puts out that a manager, well, not really a manager, but when someone else goes in, you start to think, is he going or is he not? Obviously, we've got that with Jack.
Yeah, shall we talk about Figgy? As the complete meltdown Sunday evening at 7:30.
Yeah. Obviously, I think we all know now that 7:30 Sunday evening, news coming out of the club, a new head coach, Martin Patterson from Burton. Well, it was from Burton, but we don't know how much we got him for. So, was he a cheaper option than anyone else?
I think it was. I think it was a bit of a cheap option, wasn't
it? Because obviously, not famous names, but big names that were on that list, like Luke Williams, Ian Everett, so many more. I can't think of right now, but maybe it is a cheaper option. But is it going to work?
Who knows? But then maybe them names on that list wouldn't work with this new technical board and stuff like that. Maybe they want to go in a way where a more experienced head coach, manager wouldn't sort of like sign up to them T&Cs, you know what I mean? They'd want like full control, where this seems like a lot of it's slipping away.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, we can't really judge him until the ball's been kicked, really, can we?
We can't. And I think Sunday night...
I think it was forced. We could tell it was forced.
And I think
obviously it was... Yeah.
Sorry, Harry.
Yeah, because obviously someone else treated it, like, was it 10 minutes before, saying it was set to be confirmed?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I mean, 7:30 on Sunday is not really a normal time for Notts to announce something, but maybe it was a cheap way to go for Notts.
Maybe the round was forced a bit too figgy, and the speed, because in that initial statement it said they will meet the press, so we were expecting note to come out of the club, but because of the meltdown, it seems like interviews was rushed out on Monday.
Yeah, because obviously in that statement, it said we was going to hear more from him on Tuesday. So, and with a lot of meltdown coming from fans, those that go to games, those that watch them on TV, I think the club did. I don't know if it was the right thing, but I think they tried to stop the meltdowns. Obviously, they tried to do it on Monday and obviously on Tuesday. Obviously, we're hearing that Sam had an interview like early on today, so we'll see how he gets on in the coaching role because it'll be his first ever time, won't it?
Yeah, it will be. But you know what's an interesting thing? Not even yesterday,
What?
and I haven't read anything yesterday, and coming from the statement on Sunday, we don't know how long he's got a contract for.
Yeah, that's because normally when we get a new head coach or anyone that gets a new head coach, we normally say how many years he has, but we didn't get that.
No, and we still haven't got it, have we? As I
Yeah.
sit here now, I don't know how long, whether it's a 1 year contract he's got, whether it's 2 years, whether it's a rolling month on month. We don't know.
Whether it's 12 months, we don't know, do we?
No,
But
which is
would he
strange.
be yeah? Would he be the man to lead us to League One? That's the question that we'll all be asking, won't we?
But will it be the man? Will it be Patterson's? It is Pato, isn't it? Patterson. Pearson.
Mm.
Pearson's black and white armour and the
Ooh,
technical
yeah.
board. We're going to start singing that
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Right. Shall we move on?
Yeah, we can do.
Right. What else do we have? Obviously, from last year, it was at the season to be, was it?
It wasn't. It was a lot of disappointing performances, which we was dreadful at home all season.
Yeah. Obviously, coming off teams like Wimbledon at home, both, or not at home, but both the semi-finals, losing 1-0. The second leg wasn't really our best leg, but I think we was just there for the day out, weren't we? The fans were singing all through the game, even though we were losing. But I think it was just for the day out.
I don't think no fan was disappointed we lost. We expected it before we got off the travel, away travel and stuff like that. We didn't go there thinking we was going to win because in the league game earlier in the season, they didn't turn up in that one.
No, yeah, obviously, early on in the season, was it February time, right? It was before Fleetwood away, I think, when we went to Cowley and obviously going expected to win, like any team does, but we just didn't turn up from the kickoff, did we? We just
No.
forgot that we were there. Wimbledon, obviously, we know how good defensive record they have. Obviously, when they go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, no team can break them down. I think the only team that did, I'm not really sure, but I think Port Vale broke them down
Yeah,
last game
Port
of the
Vale did,
season.
didn't they? Because they beat them, was it like 2-1 or something?
Yeah, well, that's the difference of teams where when we go 1-0 up, we can't defend on it. We always crumble and get back into the game. But when Wimbledon go 1-0 up, they have a good defensive record and they can hold on to that 1-0 lead.
See, if you go back to like when we won the National League, right, you always, like Boreham Wood, we was 2-0 down, right?
Yeah.
And any game in the national that season in the National League, if we was losing the game, even at Wembley, when we was playing Chesterfield, and we're 1-0 down, and it's like 80 minutes, you lose in the game. You still had that belief, that one moment to get back into that game. We never felt that this season.
No, obviously, if we had Stuart Maynard's team last season, or not last season, but when I was in the national playoffs, obviously 2-0 down against Boreham Wood, even 1-0 down against Chesterfield, I think we wouldn't have came back. And that's the difference between Luke's team and the Stuart Maynard team, where we could see Luke's team where they had passion, they would want to get back, they fought to get back, and they did. But with Stuart, when we go 1-0 down, we just crumble under the pressure and just lose. We don't really come back.
Yeah.
We normally get that goal back, but we just don't win.
Tactically, we had no answer. There was no like desire. There was no, we ran out of ideas very quick under Stuart Maynard.
Yeah, we had no plan A, plan B, no plan C really. We just went in the game with one game plan, is that to keep passing the ball around, and if that doesn't work out, then we lost. If we could see Fleetwood go 1-0 up away, even me and you could see it was they were gonna concede, but Stewart didn't. So
Yeah, because he made the substitutes after the second goal, didn't it? And then you go from winning a
mm,
game to then chasing a game.
yeah, because for example, me and you were at the game. We could see that Fleetwood was going to score straight after they scored, didn't they?
Yeah, and the same with
Because we didn't,
Warsaw at home.
because we didn't change technically. We didn't make the right subs. I think that's what needs to change going forward into next season, where we're losing games. We need to come back because there's been too many times at home and away where we've been in control, and then as soon as they score, our heads drop.
In my observation of the team, we a lot of the time we played really well in the first half, and then second half the level sort of like dropped, and then anybody we brought off the bench didn't really do anything. He actually made the team worse. Like Bromley,
Yeah.
Stuart Maynard made the substitute Bromley at home. Straight after that substitution, we let a goal in. They equalised. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, Sam.
Right. Yeah. Is it the tactics or is it the substitutions? We've seen too many times at home and away where we're in control. We have that lead. We just lose it from stupid mistakes at back, even from attack, really, where questionable substitutions been made. But is it the tactics? We don't know because we don't know what's going on that pitch. We just watch from the stands.
Exactly. But one thing we did know last year was that there wasn't a lot of like, what would you say, emotion from Maynard on the touchline.
Yeah, because Maynard, every time a goal went in, Maynard just put his hands in his pockets and just carried on like nothing had happened.
I mean, it was nice to see Sam Slocum on the touchline giving his structures, but then you think, well, Sam, why are you doing it? Why ain't the manager doing it?
Yeah, because it's nice to see from the fans managers with passion. Like they care about the team. They care about wins and losses. Well, not the losses, but they care about the wins. And even if it's a good game, but we still get a point, it's a good game to watch. We also lucky that we didn't get 3, but we got 1. There was too many times this season where we drawed games. It was like it felt like a loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like a loss. Even though we won against Carlisle, that felt like a loss. Because I thought Carlisle was so much better than us. They should have scored more goals than us, and they didn't take their chances like we did. But I Didn't we score early on in that game? Or was that Colchester?
Colchester scored earlier on, didn't they? That's like 2 points dropped there. Colchester, 2 points dropped against Bromley. What about Tranmere? We could have lost that game.
Yeah, Tranmere 0-0 at half time. They had more chances. But we spoke at that game at half time, didn't we? Say they could have won that game at half time.
Yeah.
But Tranmere weren't lucky that we scored 2 goals straight after half time, and they got 190 plus whatever it was. But Tranmere could have won that game, and we got lucky. Didn't we lose to? Did we draw to Fleetwood after that week at Tranmere, or was it?
I can't remember. I can remember the Fleetwood one at the beginning of the season where we're 2-0 down on 46 minutes. And we came back. Yeah. I mean, with the penalty, McGoldrick sort of like put that ball over the top, didn't he? I can't remember who got brought down. Jody put it in.
I think it was Nick Spooner that got brought down. Yeah, Nick Spooner. Also, yeah, that Colchester game where we scored early on was just... We drawed that game, didn't we?
Yeah, we drawed that game.
Yeah, it was 1-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went to... Didn't we score in the first half and then did our usual, we're going to sit back and like ride it out. Probably made substitutes as well.
I hope we scored in like the first minute, didn't we? Or was it the third minute? It was early on, though. We scored early on. We didn't do anything after that. We met Colchester in the game, really. It was the same away at Colchester as well. We didn't do well away, did we?
No. But do you think...
We only had about 1 shot on target, didn't we?
Yeah, but then that was like Jarvis, wasn't it, in the 80s? But do you think, though, that... Do you think a lot of them players get up playing?
What,
certain parts of the season, towards the end of the season?
I think towards the end of the season, most players are looking for holidays, aren't they?
I'm talking about like January, like...
Yeah.
January, February, March. Like, there's been like... None of the players looked happy half the time.
I think that... It's probably because they were playing under Maynard. Maybe they didn't like him as a player. I mean, as a manager.
I mean, I know a lot of the fans didn't. A lot of the fans didn't like him one bit, did they?
No. I mean, there's some fans that do like him, that they would rather want him back than Patterson. But would we have done well with Maynard next season? Who knows?
But we're never going to find that one out, are we? Because he's not here no longer. We have to move on.
And where do you think he will go to? Or would he not go back? Or would he not go? Would he go back to a non-league club? Or?
I don't know. I thought he might have gone back to Wealdstone, but he's not going back there, is he?
No, because initially he's from London, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looking forward, though, we got Elford in, like, what is it? 10 days
10
or something?
days. 9 days, yeah. And I think if Martin Patterson wants to impress the fans, I think we need a good win against Alfreton.
But do you want him to impress you as a fan in pre-season, or do you want to see like the team working better as a team? And then
I think a mixture of both. You would want to see your team win well, obviously against smaller teams in the National League more, but you do want to see the team pick up good performances in pre-season, because you only get one of those in the season. And if you start well in pre-season, that could go into the league campaign and have a good start.
And then they're off to Germany. So you've got 3 games out in Germany.
I wonder how that would go out, because obviously it's different weather in Germany, isn't it?
Yeah, different weather. They get to have that break. And then they come home. The week before the season starts, we'll find out who we get tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got Cardiff home, so that's been nice to be back in Meadow Lane.
Cardiff's in League One, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna get some big news if Gareth Bale buys them, don't they?
Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting one because it's his boyhood club. Right.
So we move on to what is it next season? Who we want first
Yeah.
game?
Next season, first game. Oh, I want it to be a home game. Like MK Dons at home, but if it's away, probably like Oldham away.
Yeah.
You got first away game if it's not a home away game.
Home or away, I'd want MK Dons just to see how we match up against like the early favourites for the league.
Yeah, because obviously MK Dons, I think they're favourites by a mile, aren't they?
Yeah, they should walk the league.
Betting odds, they should walk the league. But then last season, everyone expected them to win the league, but they didn't, did they?
No.
So is it going to be another season like that, or is it going to finally change and then they're going to win the league or go up?
That's what it's figured to because or like MK Dons fans are saying we're going to win this league, or we don't play it with fans' emotions or players' emotions. We play it on a piece of grass on a football pitch. So who knows? Time will tell on that one.
And the signings we made is not really making us feel confident going into the league season. Obviously, making 4 signings already. Tom from Huddersfield, Matthew Dennis from a free from Carlisle, Oliver, and I'm not trying to pronounce the other guy because I'll get it wrong. But 2 players that we signed are injury prone. Tom obviously knows Martin Patterson from early on in his career, so maybe that's a good link, possibly.
Maybe it's a good league. On the other hand, we haven't had one of them big like other clubs like Chesterfield where they brought some decent quality, and we haven't had that. Is this
But
where
maybe,
the owner's models sort of gonna have to change a bit? That
yeah,
we don't do that sort of like, oh well, we can get this player, they're injury prone, we manage them right, get the best out of them, sort of
yeah.
thing
Because
on the cheaper end.
we're also signing players on a 1-year contract still, aren't we?
Yeah, which some players won't sign for you because they want a bit more stability. They want a bit more like guaranteed like wages and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Especially if they've
obviously,
got a family and stuff.
yeah, and obviously we still don't know how long the manager's going to be here for, Martin Patterson, because normally you get how long he stays, but we're not getting that. So it could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 12 months, but I'm sure they will tell us soon, hopefully. Anything else to touch upon, or
That's about it, isn't it?
yeah? Episode 2 will be out probably in the near future. I don't know
Tomorrow,
when,
innit?
but
We're gonna
yeah,
review the fixtures
yeah. Episode
tomorrow.
2 out tomorrow. Fixture day, 12 p.m. So, and I can't wait to see who we get first game of the season. Roll on next season. Hopefully, we do well. And thank you all for watching, and thank you, Mark, for joining.
You're welcome.
And see you all soon for the next one.